The German team right now is actually playing a fantastic football at times, and they can really attract people by watching them. Unfortunately, since a couple of years, we can't win it anymore. Before we had this winning mentality and we knew, well, we can play badly, but at the end we're still able to win. This has been lost somewhere. We got a good coach in Jogi Löw, and I think he will have his last attempt in 2014 to win it. I cross my fingers that they're going to win it, but it's going to be hard. When I played for Arsenal, my biggest moments probably were when we haven't lost the game or even further into the next season, when we won the championship. At the time, we didn't realize how good we were, and unfortunately, we should have won more trophies because by far we were the best team. That's sometimes a downside in England, because the FA all of a sudden gets you consecutive games, what happened to us at the time, with 6 very hard games into 10 days. And at the end we were tired. And I think it's a kind of reason as well for the English national team, because they don't have a winter break and the demands are so high in England that at the end of the year it's very hard for English club teams or for the English national team to perform. Arsene Wenger is a coach who does not only inspire you on the pitch, but as well off the pitch. You're always getting some great information about some other things in life. I think that makes a great coach as well. I was arguing with him quite often, particularly when he took me out of goal. But then after 20 minutes of arguments, we talked for another half an hour on private things, very smooth and relaxed. It was always a professional relationship and a private one. And the private one is still very good. Right now I'm quite fortunate because I'm doing my coaching license at Arsenal. And so I'm looking over his shoulder, and they let me train the reserves sometimes and the under-18s, which is a big gesture. I probably become a manager after this year, dependent on my progress in my pro license, which I'm doing right now. And so I'm happy to learn a lot from Arsene and his coaching team. It's a good experience. At the moment, they are making responsible decisions. When you see Robin van Persie, which I personally and as a player quite like him, but when you see that a player wants to leave for money reasons as well, and probably because he thinks that somewhere else it's easier to win, you have to let him go. Particularly when he's only 1 year on his contract. So the future will tell us. And what will come into place next year is the financial fair play rule. So then we will see how this rule actually comes into place for clubs like Chelsea, Man City, who are spending much beyond their actual budget. And then it could turn out that clubs like Arsenal all of a sudden are far ahead of those clubs. I really enjoy to play here this game in Dresden tonight, and on the other hand to be a patron of the kicking girls. And so I'm quite excited to do that. I think that in the recent years girls football came up, and I think it's a great sport. It's a team sport, which always gives you a lot for life. With the money which is going to be raised tonight, which is about 100,000 euros, I think there are so many projects which could be realized, and it's very important, of course, for Laureus. Everybody knows when you donate something to Laureus, it's given for something good. The reputation of the whole Laureus, Sports for Good, and when you see the amount of ambassadors and where they're all coming from all kind of sports, and former world-class athletes, you see how great, how fantastic foundation this Laureus is. Next year, when the Laureus Awards take place in Rio, I'm really looking forward to go there. It must be a fantastic event for the Brazilians, as there will be this award. Then a year later there will be the World Cup, the Football World Cup, and 2 years later there will be the Olympics and the Paralympics. So Brazil is the upcoming country. So this guy from Bild Zeitung called me and asked me if I could imagine to play for the Paralympic football team in 2014. And I was silent because I didn't know what to say. And then he said that only the goalkeeper is allowed amongst the blind people there to have sight. And I said, well, I think it would be a little bit disrespectful if I show up and play there. And then he said, no, actually the players and the coaches, they want you to play. And that's why I'm asking. And so he's asked me, and I said, well, why not? Let's see what's going on in 4 years. So I've never took part in Olympics. And if that is happened to be, I will be there and play with them.